Now, if you remember a few weeks ago, I made a specific video detailing how New York City is an absolute crap hole and how I correlated that with, of course, the economic numbers with, of course, the city facing economic calamity. And now today we have new numbers, new polls, new results that back up everything that I was saying. Plus, we'll give you some important context about the Big Apple, the city that never sleeps, and the city that destroyed itself with too much government. Now, before we get into that, plus a lot more, I want to thank everyone who is purchasing our t-shirts and merchandise on teesprings.com, with, of course, the link being directly below this video. Your purchases help independently sustain this media organization, which, of course, only verbally likes to kick the establishment in the nuts, which results in us usually predominantly getting screwed over somehow. But regardless of that, the specific report that I wanted to detail and correlate with my own personal experiences with living in New York City is, of course, a new census data report that talks about the number of people who are moving in and moving out of New York City. And these latest numbers are not shocking to me, but would be shocking to any statistician or accountant or financial advisor that would see that these latest signs show a huge problem for New York City, which of course many people think already is on the brink of totally going bankrupt, and was the actual specific story that we talked about in the last video about New York City. Now, these numbers are stunning because the Big Apple, the city that never sleeps, the city that everyone wants to go into and make it, New York has seen the fastest decline than any other state in the United States, losing more people than in any other state, and most of these migrations are coming from, of course, New York City. And just like similar economic models that we have seen presented with the case studies of Japan and Europe, when a population doesn't sustain itself, it sure shows signs of clear problems economically, socially, and of course, politically. The Chinese even started building a database of fertile women in their country because of a projected population decline, which they know will cause severe economic ramifications in their country. And is also one reason why many geopolitical experts are saying that China cannot overtake the United States economy, since of course China also has publicly stated that it will not welcome any foreign migrants that can't assimilate into their country. That's why China has even built this sperm extraction machine, which, I mean, do I have to describe what this thing does? I mean, yeah, literally a medical device that latches on to your being and extracts semen. That's what's being developed and talked about in China because of the population decline, which they see as a major problem. And this, of course, is happening on a micro level in New York City. Many people, of course, call this the out-migration problem. But New York State has been dealing with this with, of course, adding 70,000 plus immigrants. Those are the ones that are at least documented. There's a larger portion that is not. Whoever tells you that hasn't been in New York City longer than a day, or probably just went to Times Square and just buggered off with freaking some angry, passive-aggressive animal character, furry character that got him to pay $5 for a photo, regardless of that. And of course, new births, which of course have increased the numbers 131,000. Problem that emerges here is that with, of course, new children comes, of course, new mandates that New York City and New York State has for their supposed education problems. And of course, with immigrants, a lot of them are supported through public assistance in New York, and the people who are leaving are mainly not just the upper class, but interestingly, through this new census report, also a significant number of middle class Americans who are leaving New York because it's just simply too expensive, overtaxed, and hey, let's just be honest, sometimes an absolute trash heap with garbage all over the streets. But that's just some of the factors, just some, that are making people flee New York. Now, New York lost close to 50,000 residents in just 1 year. And prior to that, 180,000 New Yorkers left the state as well. Let me put these numbers in perspective here. Last year, New York lost approximately 190,000 residents to other states, pushing the total number of people migrating from the state to 1 million since 2010. Now, of course, this USA Today article talks about how this is leading to a lesser congressional seats. And again, this is nothing. This is absolutely nothing compared to the biggest storm coming ahead. Now, I think the numbers here that show which states are growing is also very important to highlight. Now, as a fellow New Yorker, let me tell you why New Yorkers are leaving this cesspool of too much government. And guess what? It's not because just of the weather. Yeah, the weather sucks balls here, especially during the winter with yellow snow. You don't want to know what that is. But there's more happening here that people do not understand. As I previously covered before, New York City is facing an economic calamity. They are financially distressed. Some say the most financially distressed city in this nation. Literally on the brink of bankrupt because of promises that they have made to the people, which of course over-bloated bureaucracy, too much government, too much regulation, too much taxes, too much control of the population is making people absolutely leave this city, which the people make great. And the people who made it great are absolutely leaving because they can't live here. There's barely any breathing room. The city littered with checkpoints, police cameras, speed cameras, stupid regulations, government officials that literally crack down on anything that is not controlled and regulated. There's police officers here walking around outside of my apartment, literally looking to give people parking tickets non-stop. There are other individuals working for the state that literally rummage through your garbage, look through your trash to try to find something that you may be misplaced or maybe isn't recycled correctly that they could issue a fine for. You have a little cup of coffee on the subway, police officer sees you, that's a fine and a ticket. You just go a little bit over the speed limit, bam, a camera catches you, sends you a ticket to your house. Everything is either tax controlled, regulated, or just tolled. Like you're trying to get over a bridge, like the Verrazano Bridge, that's $19. A bridge, by the way, that is supposedly one of the largest suspension bridges built in 1964. A bridge, by the way, where the government, when it was building it, promised that the toll would only exist to pay for itself. Guess what? It's $19 now. And the price just keeps going up and up and up. So the bloated, bureaucratic MTA could, quote, achieve their budgeted revenue targets. And personally, I still remember when the toll for that bridge was just $5. Yes, $5. And it's now on pace to be $20 soon, just to pass a stupid bridge. A bridge that literally brings in over $500 million estimated per year. And those are just some of the estimates, the pure numbers I wasn't able to see. I was literally researching here for an hour trying to find out the exact numbers. The estimates are that this one single bridge brings in to over $500 million per year. And still, the city is cash strapped. Still, the city is missing their revenue budgets. Still, it's not enough for the money-hungry, controlling state that literally tracks, scans, takes photos of you as you're coming in and out of the city because, God forbid, you spend more than the allocated amount of time in this city and you don't claim to be a resident here. New York City will find out through their track, trace, and database system, which they said was for terrorism. No, it's for tax collecting purposes. And that's why they have these security systems that ultimately are used to generate tax revenue. My friend tried to open up a little pop-up shop, little party that happened. Cops came in there, literally said, oh yeah, you need this regulation, this regulation, this regulation, this regulation, this permit, and you're going to have to pay thousands of dollars of legal fees just to even set up an event, a private event at that, to have a, quote, party, unless you, of course, pay us off as security guards, as police officers working off duty, and therefore we'll let a lot of these permits go underneath the table. And again, it's all selectively enforced. This is how the city operates. This is how, of course, law and order and government are being manipulated against the better interest, against the free market of the people, where literally a Mexican lady selling churros will be detained and have her churros stolen by the state. Or even if you're a delivery guy just trying to make an average job, if you have an electric attachment or even an electric scooter, the police will come in there and take it away from you for stupid, asinine reasons. Meanwhile, the city can't even get their subway systems to run straight, as of course traffic is an absolute nightmare, and you must be totally insane to even have a car in this city. Sorry. Damn, I'm sick and tired of seeing this beautiful city that the people made here, amazing, just be usurped, and these yuppie, hipster, latte drinking, cupcake face snuffing asswipes coming in, trying to be all cool and trendy. Sorry, why do you think people are escaping New York? And literally, according to the census, they're moving to places like Nevada, Florida, and Texas. What do Nevada, Florida, and Texas have? Less government than any place. I think only Cuba has more government than New York or Venezuela. Again, these states, the fastest growing states according to the census, all of course have less restrictive, controlling, insane government that again just tries to control every aspect of your life, tries to play like it's your daddy, tries to, of course, give you things. And again, it proves the failure of New York City, which is going to be a colossal one coming up soon, will prove a very important lesson. And that, of course, is that big government does not work in any way, shape, or form. It is absolutely destructive, cancerous, and erosive to any form of liberty, freedom, which is essential to a prosperous society, which, of course, New York City is becoming less and less of. That's my assessment. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. And am I just too jaded? Am I just too pissed off for living in New York City? And I'm thinking of course, of moving out of here. Where do you guys think I should go? Let me know in the comment section below. And thank you again for being a part of We Are Change, for buying some of the merchandise. Again, holy cow, we're not doing that well, and only because of your support, we're still able to be here, and that's why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.